On the phone with me is a very special guest and a music legend, Marky Ramone. Hey, Marky, thanks for calling in.
Hey, how you doing? Anytime.
Doing well, Marky. You know, you played drums for a band that started, some would argue, an entire genre, the Ramones, a punk band with all the members from New York. You're from Brooklyn. Marky, you guys are legends in the music industry, but especially to us diehard punk rockers. Tell us what the punk scene was like in New York in the 70s when you joined up with the Ramones.
Well, the Ramones were the first punk band, but I think we're a little more than that. I think we're also a pop punk band and that we were a rock band also. And it started in CBGB's in 1974. There was no place to play in New York. Everybody was listening to disco music, and they didn't want to hire bands that played this kind of music. So Richard Hell, who was in a band called the Voidoids, and television with Tom Verlaine went to the owner of CBGB's and asked him if we could play this kind of music there, and he said yes. So the next thing you knew, you had the Ramones, Blondie, Talking Heads, Richard Hell, and all these, Patti Smith, all these great bands starting a whole new style. And the only reason why this happened was because we were grateful enough to have a place to play that Hilly let us do, you know.
When you were growing up in New York, who influenced you the most, your style?
Well, when I was 8 years old, my mother told me to come into the living room. We only had a little TV back then, and we all gathered around the TV to see the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, and I was really impressed by Ringo Starr, that's his name. And next thing you know, I started banging on tables in school, on the desk, and everything. So it was mainly him and guys in the British Invasion, and we loved the Beach Boys. We liked Jan and Dean. We liked Phil Spector's sound, the wall of sound that he produced. So you mix that up and you have an omelet, and it's called the Ramones.
When basically right out of high school, you joined a band in 1978.
Yeah.
How did they go about approaching you? I mean, how did that come to be?
Well, I was 22, and I already was in a band on the same record label, and I already knew Dee Dee and Joey and Johnny because they used to come to my shows in New York when I was a teenager in the Village. My band was called Dust, and they used to watch me play, and this was 5 years before the Ramones even started, and I had to bring my parents to these places because they served alcohol. I was going on 16, so they were in the audience. They were older than I was. I was a younger kid on the block when I joined the group. But Dee Dee asked me to join the Ramones in 1978 after Tommy wanted to stop touring and produce. So me and Tommy also knew each other well, and he suggested to them to get me in the group. So Dee Dee approached me first because he happened to have been there at the bar at CBGB's. And then the first song I recorded with them was I Want to Be Sedated,
which we will play here in just a little bit. But Marky, when the Ramones, you were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and you received the award for the band. Tell us about that experience.
Well, we never thought we'd get in. We were just a bunch of regular guys who just wanted to play, and we didn't know that we would, I guess the term influence a whole thing of music. So they recognized that, and we were voted in, and we were very surprised. And then we went up on the stage and thanked everybody, and that's really what it was. We were very, we'll always remember and be grateful that we were the first band of this kind of music that was put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We were amongst people that we loved, Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard, Elvis, Carl Perkins, the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, all these great, bands, and individuals.
Well, to your fans, it was no surprise that you made it there. You deserved it. You have a new band now. Tell us about your new band and your touring schedule.
Well, unfortunately, Johnny, Joey, and Dee Dee passed away, and they were way too young, and Two of them died of cancer, and Dee Dee died of a foolish thing, which I don't even want to bring up because it's so disheartening to talk about. But I keep the legacy alive by playing Ramones songs when I do tour, 32 songs a night. And I put a little twist into it, and I add the overdubs that we didn't play live. But I tell the guitar player, and we discuss it, and we do the overdubs that were on the albums because he's that good to do it. And we travel the world, and soon we're going to start playing in the USA and do the same thing here, And Michael Graves is my lead singer, and he was the frontman, singer, and writer of a band he left 10 years ago called the Misfits. And he wrote the last two Misfits albums, and luckily I got him in the group because of his experience. And I didn't want anyone to copy them, the other Ramones. I wanted everyone in the band to do it their way, but do it the right way, and do it similar but not copying. So that's what's good, I didn't want to find a Joey clone or a Dee Dee clone or a Johnny clone. I wanted everyone to be who they were, but remembering what the Ramones set out to do. So, that's what that's all about.
And Marky, if we'd like to hear a little bit, is there a way to get online maybe and check you out?
Yeah, there's one single we just did. It's called When We Were Angels. It's called Marky Ramones Blitzkrieg, and it's on iTunes. And it's we're very surprised how well it came out and how well it's doing. It's different today. You don't have to be on the charts. You can be on an iTunes sales thing, and you're amazed at how well it is without even really knowing about it until a certain time of the year. So I was very happy to hear that.
And Marky, you've been in music your whole life, and recently you got to be part of an invite-only member of the audience to see Paul McCartney at the Apollo Theater.
Yes.
That is way cool. Tell us how that experience was for you.
I have my own radio show, so they had a party. They had an anniversary because they had whatever it was. So they invited me down, so they wanted Paul to come down to play, and he agreed. So there I was asked, and the next thing I knew, I was in the Apollo Theater in Harlem, and Paul was great. The band was great, and everybody was there. Keith Richards, Ron Wood, Howard Stern, all these people. And it was just a really, really wonderful night to hear all those hits that will always be there, no matter what generation, no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, those songs will always hold up. And it was just amazing to see him and put out that energy. We were all very, very, excited.
Well, also, other than music, I saw on your webpage, that's a good thing about social networking. That's what made this interview possible. You are from Brooklyn, so you have a passion for this. I know you do. You're born and raised in Brooklyn, and you know a little something about pasta sauce. Tell us about yours and what sets it apart from others, and also tell us where a portion of those proceeds go.
Well, it's a creative thing. My grandfather was a chef at the famous club, in fact, in New York called the Copacabana. And he used to cook for Humphrey Bogart. He used to cook for James Cagney. He used to cook for a lot of the gangsters in the area who would frequent the place. And, I was very amazed at that because you would see these people on TV. And I would always watch him cook. And what's the cheapest thing to really cook when you're down and out, when I was for a few years? I guess a lot of, we all have our ups and downs. And it was spaghetti sauce and spaghetti. So it really, what I did was just throw in a little olive oil, a little bit of garlic, and some plum tomatoes, and a little bit of oregano, and a lot of other secrets. And that's what it is. And it's called Marky Ramones Brooklyn's Own. It started when, I didn't have a job, and I was kind of, getting up in the world there, and I just kept eating spaghetti. So I looked back, and I wanted to make something better than I was eating, which I eventually did, and that's what this is. And
10% of that, could you tell us about the charity that goes to?
I wanted to make sure it goes to two charities. Part of it goes to Autism Speaks, and the other one goes to the veterans who came home from war, the Iraq War, without limbs and with, who have to start all over again. I have to find out the real name of it. It's a long name. I'm not sure exactly all the words of it, but I think the name Intrepid's in it. But I can find out. But 10% of that goes to that fund too. The Iraqi soldiers that came home that need our help. They need our help more than even what the government's giving them. They stood in the line of fire for us, and that's the result. They came home, and they have families. It's hard. I can't even think about it. It's so horrible to think of because of what they went through. My nephew was a colonel there, and he told me so much that when what happened, and I can't begin to imagine.
Well, a lot of people were injured and gave their lives just to make it possible for me and you to have this interview on the radio right now.
You're darn right. And, that's why another reason why I was happy to make this tomato sauce was because I could give part of the profits away to needy causes.
Well, tell us how we can go about ordering some.
Well, you can go on my Facebook, Marky Ramone Facebook. It's called Like This, because I can't add any more friends onto the other one, so they stopped me after 5,000. So now you just got to go to Marky Ramone Facebook, Like This. That's what it's called for some reason. And that's where you can get the tomatoes, the tomato pasta sauce, and also on MarkyRamone.com. And that's basically how you can get it for now. So all the info's there, but eventually it's going to get into the supermarkets because it's like a grassroots beginning kind of thing. I didn't want to go out there and just push it and put it and throw it in people's faces because I'm known as a drummer, musician, touring Ramone, and writer, music business guy, not a chef. So I wanted it to take time, and now you can get it on my info that I just gave out.
And that's Marky Ramone. Go to Facebook and hit like. Now on your friends page, I can feel your pain. I'm in the same boat. I'm about 4,700 friends away from hitting 5,000.
Yeah, they're going to stop you, so you have to go to Marky Ramone. Like This. In other words, there's another one. It is the official Marky Ramone Facebook, but it's the one where it's my face, and it's a DVD drum instructional video, which I also released a couple of months ago. So that's really the one.
I'm looking at your page right now, and it says Marky Ramone, punk rock drumming his way for beginners. Is that the one?
Yes.
Well, your page is not run by a staff. That's all you, right?
Yeah, I do it myself because, if it wasn't for your friends and fans, you wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be there and whatever. And to be more personal, why not? We're all the same. And I just feel it's just a lot more human.
Well, Marky, I can't tell you how much your music has influenced my life and the lives of many of my friends and so many others. Thanks for calling in, Marky.
Thanks.